Okay, thank you so much, Ken. Thank you for this opportunity. So once more, I'm saying hello, good morning to everyone. Thank you all so much for this sacrifice. I know that it's not easy taking out time to attend somebody else's thing, but we thank you so much because without you, there'll be nobody to be talking to. All right, so this morning, I'm just going to be talking briefly about setting yourself free. Okay, setting yourself free. When we say setting yourself free, just a minute, let me share my screen. Okay, I think my screen share is loading. All right, so we're going to be talking about setting yourself free. Okay, that is the thing. And I'm asking myself, when we say set yourself free, what are we talking about? Ken, help me. My screen share seems to be loading. Can you hear me? I don't know what's if it's something obstructing it. Should I stop? All right. Anyway, so when we're talking of setting ourselves free, what are we talking about? When you say set yourself free, then it is supposing that there is some form of bondage or some form of hindrance, or there's some form of limitation. All right. And to be free, that means you're not free. Something is holding you down or holding you back or preventing you from moving. Okay. And what do we mean by this? What are the kind of things that are bonds? What are the kind of things that hold us back? So I look at it this way. Let me just quickly talk about bonds. We have physical restrictions, okay? So either something is restricting your physical movement. If I want to lift up my hand now and I can't, that means there's a reason, okay? There's something preventing me from lifting up my hand. This is a physical limitation, all right? Physical limitations are things like handcuffs, ropes, wires, a prison. A prison doesn't restrict like your arms and legs, but it defines how far you can go. You're in prison, you cannot go beyond 6 feet, beyond out of your room or within the prison yard itself. So you're restricted, okay, within that area. Or physical disabilities. I think my screen is visible now. So we have physical, okay, just a minute, okay. So we have these physical restrictions, right? Then we have mental limitations or mental bonds, all right? Now, what causes these mental bonds? Mental bonds could be from like genetic disorders. Some people just have, unfortunately, okay, can my screen, all right. Okay, it's fine. My screen is working now. Thank you. All right. Okay. So basically, and then physical disabilities, of course, they limit our physical movement. So I was talking about mental. We have genetic disorders, all right, that limit some people from, being able to speak properly, all right, or being able to reason properly because of some issues, okay? And then, of course, things like limited education, okay? Outright illiteracy, it limits you, okay? There's some kind of conversations you can have, all right, because you're not educated in that area. So you're not necessarily completely illiterate, but there's some limitations. There's how far I can have conversations within the medical field. I'm not a doctor. Okay, so there's some kind of conversations I can't have. I have some limitations in that area. Then, of course, there is the spiritual. Okay, this is a lot of people believe that there are spiritual curses, there are ancestral mistakes and things that have caused them to be struggling in this age, and then some people actually go to try to deal diabolically and all that. So those things, they cause limitations, and they are things that we can call bonds. But there's so much to talk about, but I'm going to limit my conversation this afternoon, all right? This morning. First of all, I want to talk about ignorance. Ignorance is like one of the strongest sources of limitation. One of the strongest forces of holding people bound is ignorance. Some people believe that, what Papa don't know won't hurt him. But it's really not true. There are many things that you don't know that can actually limit you. In fact, I think it is what you do not know about something that limits how far you can interact and how far you can grow in that thing. All right. There's a very popular saying from a very wise book. It says, "My people suffer for lack of knowledge." And you're asking, for lack of knowledge? Yes, they suffer. You will suffer for what you don't know. That is just the truth. At a certain level, as you go, there are some things that a child at the age of 5 is not know. If he knows it, it will even be a problem for that child. But at the age of 10, there's something that that child should know. That if he doesn't know, he will suffer for it, okay? You will get smacked for doing some things, all right? At a certain age, you misbehave, you will get expelled from school, okay? Maybe the list suspended. But as we grow in life, all right, we are expected to begin to know and understand certain things. Ebuka talked to us about friends. You see, there's some things that, after some experiences with people, you shouldn't come and still be talking about how this person is still doing. At the point, you should, how do we say? We say borrow yourself sense. You should be able to borrow yourself sense. Okay, I'll say this person is not good for me. I tried this person. This person hurt me once, okay, and I forgave you, gave you another chance. You did it again. I gave you another chance. You did it again. At the end of the day, if I come to explain to people how this person did this to me 4 or 5, they're like, "How did you stay there and get dealt with 4 or 5 times?" Huh? Then the problem is actually with you. They say, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." All right. So it is those things that we do not know about something that hold us bound in that area. All right. They say you don't know what you don't know. That's simply the truth. You don't know what you don't know. All right. And then, of course, ignorance. What are we talking about? There are different kinds of ignorance. Now, some people don't even know that they have limitations. Okay. Yes. Some people actually think that all they see is what it is, or all they have is all that there is, or all that they can get. Okay. And I'm sorry, some people shroud it with religious, "Oh, well, if God wanted me to have it, he will give it to me." But you didn't know that he had already given you, and even given you much more. All right. So some people do not know that they have limitations. All right. Some people know that there are limitations, but they do not know what their limitation is. Okay, that's another level. All right. When we talk about performing in life, there are different stages of I think they call it different stages of understanding. Okay. When you are consciously unconscious, okay, you don't know that you don't know. Then you get to where you are now conscious. You now know that, look, there's something you don't know. All right. Okay. Stages of performance. All right. Before you now move to when you start to learn and grow, you now get to start performing. So let's move on now. After setting this background and talking about, different kinds of limitations and how we are limited by things we know or we don't know, how do you set yourself free? How do you set yourself free? Number one is to learn, right? You don't know. How do you now know? Because that is what we're looking at ultimately to get ourselves free. I'm bound, I'm stuck, I'm trapped. I want to get out. So how is to learn. And after you have learned, you act. And after you act, what you do? Sometimes you learn things, you act, it doesn't seem to work. You repeat, learn, act, learn, act. You continue. It's a cycle. You know, the truth is that we are continuously setting ourselves free as we are gaining new and more knowledge. So as we gain knowledge, we continue to become, we begin to evolve, into better versions of ourselves, freer versions of ourselves. All right. So let's go on. Okay. If ignorance is simply the lack of knowledge or information, to overcome it is simply to get that knowledge or get that information. All right. Of course, some depending it's not easy. You're not just going to become a medical doctor. If I have ignorance in some health areas, I cannot just go and become a medical doctor like that. All right. So we're not going to set ourselves free from every bondage like that. All right. So thank you, Annie. Yes, Annie, good to see you. It says, yes, learning sets you free to become a better version of yourself. All right. Now, when we start to, talk about limitations and setting our first free, the first thing I'll tell you about now, that you know that some things are actually choice. Sometimes you're bound by your choice. It's simply a choice. Some people actually stay where they are, all right? They do learn, they know as they know what is their limitation, they know what should be done, but they don't do it, okay? Or they don't even bother to find out what is wrong or what should be done. They've chosen them. Okay, after when we know keep us, we no go die, I'm alive. There's still life after death. Okay, there's life after death, but there's life here. In life, there is life. All right. So you can choose how to live your life in ignorance or in freedom. And in this age of information, ignorance is a choice. That is a quote by Donald Miller. All right. You can Google him. He has some interesting insights about life. All right. It is your choice to be free. Choose this day. Choose. When they choose, it means you have the power to say I will or I will not. It is your choice to be free. It is your choice to remain bound. All right. There are limitations that you can say, oh, maybe I have physical limitations. I'm not tall enough. Okay. You're not tall compared to the height that you feel is tall, right? So yes, you say you're not tall enough, but does that stop you from improving your mind? Does it stop you from becoming a smarter person? Does it stop you from becoming a physically strong person? Okay. It is simply your choice. You can choose what you want to be free from. All right. Some people do not want to be free from certain things. Okay. You want to have money, but you don't want to be free from just, being a couch potato. You want to sit in your house, you want all that comfort, but you don't want to work for it. Okay, that means you are choosing not to have that. You're choosing this. It is definitely a choice, yes, okay? And definitely, yes, Jimmy, I understand. It says such folks irritate me. Yeah, they don't know that they don't know, and they're not willing to know. True. All right. So, and one important point I want to make, do you know that freedom from one thing usually leads to freedom from others? Okay, let me tell you, when you start to learn, okay, sometimes you can't go to certain places, you can't be in certain rooms, you can't speak, all right, because you cannot articulate certain things, right? Now, people who are in that room who can articulate things can negotiate a contract, they get money, and they move on to other things. Now you start to learn how to do something. You begin to learn a skill. That skill brings you money, okay, or brings you opportunities that helps you to break out of your financial limitations. Okay, so sometimes just learning a new skill, you're not just going to improve mentally, you're going to improve financially, which will help you to improve physically. Okay, you can take care of yourself, you can buy new clothes, you can change your environment. All right, so beginning to be free from one thing usually leads to freedom from other things. Okay, so it's important to understand, okay, why we should be struggling to improve ourselves every day. Now be intentional. Okay, be intentional about change. You just have to be intentional, okay? It is your choice. You can either be in the passenger seat of your life or you get into the driver's seat, all right? So I'm going to be speeding up now, okay, so that we can get this done with. I'm going to start very quickly. So just pay attention. I'm going to give you a tale of two sisters, all right? These are more like two cousins. This is a real life story. So just pay close attention. Two sisters, all right? Grew up with similar, their parents, siblings, all right? And they grew up in the similar lifestyle, nice, grew up happy, having fun, growing up enjoying life, fine girls. And then at some point, some offers started coming in. You look at this screen, you start getting offers to, oh, let's try this from party, oh, let's drink this, let's do that, let's do this. And all these offers started to come in. They were enticing, they were what people were doing. But one person said, you know what, this thing, it needs to, I've seen people go down this lane. I've seen things. Okay, and this person made a choice and said, you know what, hey, consider me a Jew girl, consider me this, that, but I don't think this is the way for me. She opted to walk towards the sunlight and be free. The other person tried to experiment, and from 1 to 2 to 3 to, and eventually her whole head was filled up with all sorts of things. There were issues, there was rehab, going in and out of rehab, just disappearing for a long time, long stretches of time, coming back, sober for a while, and then going back. Eventually, what happened? The one who experimented fell into that life, ended up in a coffin dead 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years, 3 years ago. Yeah, about 3 years ago. The other person is here talking to you today. Presentation. What's the difference? Choice. Okay. Choice. I think a lot of us even have such stories. I think we know such people. All right. So that's to show you the power of choice. So very quickly, let us look at how we can begin to break the chains of self-limiting beliefs. Okay. This is another thing I'm talking about right now, because most of our bondage actually come from what we feel. If somebody tells herself, oh, I can't stop doing these drugs, I can't stop drinking this, I can't stop hanging out with these friends, I can't stop doing this, or I cannot do this, or I cannot. See, those are self-limiting beliefs, all right? Where do our beliefs come from? Most of them are rooted in our upbringing, all right? From childhood, you're told you can't do this, or you can do that, or you had this trauma. Okay, some people have experiences, and that experience shapes them for the rest of their life. They see themselves from that victim point of view, all right? And of course, external sources, friends, you go, some people get a job. Some people have gotten jobs that have destroyed them. I had friends when we finished school, then they got into the banking sector. And a lot of things that they were hearing from their bosses, you're missing your target, you're useless, a lot of them had issues. They lost self-esteem and they have struggled. They lost their jobs. They lost their jobs. They lost, a lot. Okay, they've never been able to recover from that. Okay. But yeah, we can actually break free of these things. The first thing I'm going to talk about in breaking self-limiting beliefs is cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring, okay? Restructure how you think, restructure how you recognize and interpret things. First of all, you have to identify what are the things holding me, okay? Awareness. They say a problem, what should I say? When you have, there's a saying that goes like, when you know what the problem is, you have already solved 50% of that problem, all right? Try to recognize what is limiting you, okay? Look at your thoughts. What you think about things, about money, what you think about work, what you think about friends, what you think about, being slim or being fat. And why do you think that way? Ask yourself, did somebody tell me something? Did I see something when I was growing up? What happened? Why did I start thinking like that? All right. It's like shining a light on yourself. Okay. Shine the light. If the room is dark, turn on the light so you can see every hidden thing. Okay. Sometimes you can't do this on your own. You probably need to get help. Okay. If you have a trusted person you can talk to, or go to um uh a medical, in Nigeria, we don't want like to go to shrinks, right? But outside, a lot of people do. And I think even in Nigeria now, a lot of people need these things, okay? So when you are aware of what the problem is, then you begin to challenge these beliefs, okay? This is what I think about money. I think that people from my side cannot be rich. Why? Challenge these beliefs. Is that true? Where's the evidence? Everybody from your place, are they all poor? The ones that are rich, how did they get rich? Okay. Challenge these things. You're fighting for your life. Honestly, when you're changing your mind, okay? So you're fact checking. When you fact check things, somebody told you something. You have to go and check it. Is this true? Now, these are things you have told yourself. Begin to find out, am I really this shy? Why am I shy? Why am I? Fact check these things. Shine that light on yourself and then reframe these negative thoughts into more positive and empowering ones, all right? I can't do this. Change it. No, say no, it's hard. People did it, okay? So I can learn, okay? I can get help, I can ask, I can do it, all right? Change, I'm afraid. So, okay, this may be exciting. Maybe these jitters I'm getting, they're exciting jitters, okay? When you get excited, your heart rate goes up too. It's not only fear. So begin to change those things, okay? And then find a balance, all right? Find a balance. You don't just go and start saying, oh, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go and take Goliath down. No, there should be a balance, okay? Some expectations are unrealistic, all right? You cannot just suddenly get up and be a billionaire overnight because you've changed your mind. Okay? So also cut yourself some slack, all right? Then affirmations. Affirmations are very popular now. You create them, repeat them daily, okay? As you repeat, it begins to create a new neural pathway from your brain down to your body. Change. We know how affirmations work, all right? But these affirmations have to move from your mouth into your heart, okay? So that even when you're not saying them, your mind already has taken that position that this is who I am, and this is what I think about this thing. Practice gratitude, all right? Negative things come, counteract them. Think of the things that you're grateful for, okay? Practice visualization. Visualization is important, okay? If you don't know how to create a vision board, you can just, your mind is one of your greatest, it's your greatest tool. That is the truth. Imagine what you want to be. Imagine, how you want to be in a certain area. Begin to have very positive, exciting thoughts, pictures in your mind about yourself, okay? Sometimes you can just stay on your own. Take time. Find a few minutes, go to a quiet place. If you can do it early hours of the morning, fine. If you don't have that time, try to find time and begin to imagine, visualize that awesome, glorious life you want. Now, this is another thing that we have to challenge, okay? Especially, let's say when somebody wants to speak in public, imagine the kind of things that we begin to imagine sometimes are terrible. Okay, imagine you get up on stage, you're gonna fall down, you're gonna, the mic is just not gonna work when it comes to you, and then you start hyperventilating, you can't do it. So when these catastrophic thoughts come, pause. Okay? Challenge these things. Okay? Most of these things we think will never happen. That is the truth. They will never happen. All right? Challenge these things. All right? Your mind, you're used to the old way. So your mind is going to fight the new way. Okay? Challenge this. Writing. Learn to start writing. Sometimes, yes, giving life to these words, if you can find time, write some words. What I do sometimes now, because I don't have time, is that I begin to record. I do a lot of audio recording now. I have some thoughts coming. I just take my phone, I have a voice recorder, I just record what I'm thinking, right, just put everything down. Yes, I think I'm awesome. I think I'm awesome. I think I'm great. I think, yes, I can do this. I think this is possible. I just record it, okay? Record them, journal, all right? Because reframing, when you start giving life to this thing, you find that it's coming out, you can start to reframe, all right? And then make it positive, okay? Make all these things work for you. It helps to make your mind clearer, and it makes things, more objective. You can look at it more objectively. Social support, okay? Look for people close to you, trusted people, and sometimes just get feedback from the people around, first of all right? Sometimes from people's feedback, you can begin to even tell who is for you and who is not for you. Gain perspective, okay? Ask other people, talk to people who have gone where you want to go. Find out. Some people overcame challenges that are worse than the one that you are even going through, and you see them shining. Finally, embrace change, all right? Because when you go through this process, I'm going through this in a few minutes, but I'm telling you that these are processes that will take you months, even years. Yes, to change is not easy, okay? So when you go through this, you have to finally learn to embrace change as well. Because as you do things differently, things will change, okay? They say the only constant in life is change. Things will change. You will begin to change. That is the truth. You were quiet before, you get more knowledge, you're going to start talking more. Okay, your confidence comes, you begin to, people who were used to you quiet and being talked down to are going to get shocked when you start answering back, or when you start walking away from drama. All right, they will start to change. Okay, Buka said it. Some people will start getting envious, some getting angry, some that is it. It's going to happen. Things will change. Things change. Economy changes, okay? Weather changes. Things change. Embrace change. Embrace change, all right? Now, you're going to also look at change. Change is transforming, all right? It's transforming, okay? If I change, I'm transforming. You're not changing. People don't really change, okay? We transform, we evolve, okay? Your mindset, the way you perceive will change, okay? Basically, embrace change, okay? Know that change is also something that will help you to grow. If you don't change, you cannot grow. You're learning all this information, but you still want to remain the same. No, it can't work. Picture a tree that is bending, all right? As you change may help you to be more flexible so that you don't break. If you're learning new information and you don't want to apply it, it's just going to be growing in you. You're going to, at a point, because maybe you're afraid to speak up to certain people that that, look, it's time for me to speak up so that I can move. What happens is you're going to be conflicted. No, change, embrace that change. You have to become a talkative. Some of us were very quiet, but at the point we had to start talking to save our lives, all right? So embrace change, please. Become more flexible, all right? And of course, and as you adapt to change, you grow, okay? You grow, all right? You will not break. You will bend, you will wave, you will not grow. And lastly, remember to celebrate your progress, all right? When you see that I finally spoke up, okay, hug yourself, give yourself ice cream, so many things. Just take yourself out, inhale fresh air. If you have a vision board, all right, you wanted to achieve certain things, as you achieve them, update your vision board. I see Ken is here, my time is up. Document your journey. Now, you don't really need to follow all these, but these are all ideas, okay, how to celebrate. Some people have a gratitude jar. Every day they write 10 things they're grateful for, they put it in the jar. Time after time, they look through it. All right. Then, of course, like I said, always look for a support network. Try to have a friend, 2, 3. And your support network don't really have to be on your level. Look for people older than you who are mentors, who are teachers, okay? And sometimes people you can help, all right? So that visual parties. These days I have friends and we have friends around. We are celebrating. Have a Zoom party. Have a Zoom party. Hey, send the link to your friends. You guys, we're celebrating, okay? Plan an adventure. It may just be a hike around your neighborhood or just something different, okay? Then sometimes you need to retreat, okay? Find a way, a few hours, a few days. Create art if you're creative. Places now, and even in town, you can go paint, have a drink, relax. Your new skills, showcase them. All right, showcase your new skills, update your LinkedIn profile, update your Facebook. I wrote something recently, okay, a comprehensive guide to teaching English online. Okay, so, and I put it up there. Okay, it's on my social media page. You go there to my Instagram. That's the first thing you see. I have done something, and I put it there. All right. So finally, I have to tell you, this is not a walk in the park, really. Okay, you cannot change that. It's not. We're saying these things in minutes, but I'm telling you that these things may take years, and there will be opposition. People will not just sit down and let you change like that. Life will not just give to you. Okay, you have to take, and sometimes you have to fight. All right, so it's not a walk in the park, I tell you. And I leave you with these final words, okay? It is worth it to break free. Honestly, there is nothing like freedom, okay? We were called to freedom. We were saved to freedom, okay? So everything, whatever you need to do to set yourself free, please go ahead and do it. So thank you for your time. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much.